This adventure started off at an Armenian wedding, fueled by numerous bottles of Johnny Walker Black Label, which led to this. You alright?
Not really.
At this Armenian wedding, I met many old friends that told me about the Glendale, California Marxist school board attempting to sexualize their children. In the words of an old friend, these Armenian fathers don't give a fuck. They will get arrested, they will go to jail, and in this episode, we visit Glendale, California to learn, where are the men? Excuse me, ma'am, do you have a second? Hi guys, we're doing a podcast here. We're sure, do you want to answer some questions on camera? You guys got a second? No? Hi, would you have any interest in talking with us? No? Excuse me, could I ask you a question, sir? Do you guys want to talk on camera? We're searching for the men in this country. All right, so what we're finding here is that, we've asked quite a few people. Seems like people are a little worried about talking about this topic of where are the men at.
The men in this country? I'm like, what do you mean? Like exact location?
So we're asking the question, where are the men? We've heard there's a crisis in masculinity. Wanted to see if you had opinions or if you think it's all right, if the status of men is okay in this country.
It's a very complex question.
Where are the men at in this country?
Where are the men in this country?
Nowhere around here.
The men are here, but we are being subdued by the movement and the political way of people thinking.
I think there's a crisis of direction and purpose.
Tell me about that. What do you mean direction and purpose for men?
Having a real focus that brings a lot of positivity in your life and provides value.
So I think people are afraid to express their views, afraid of being shut down, afraid of being cancel culture. So
everything, they're trying to take us down. They're trying to demolish our systems.
I think people are shaming men who are that type of way, like masculine and stuff.
In California in general, I think it tends to be less, if you're too masculine, you're kind of frowned on.
You're of Armenian descent, correct?
Yes.
Is there a difference between, say, the way an Armenian thinks about the role of men versus other cultures?
I think yes, because Armenian society is very hierarchical and it comes from traditions, and there is a strong man who hits the table and I am the man. In America, it's much more mild, I think.
The men are here, we're just afraid to let our primal instincts out.
Yeah, I would say there's not a lot of hope right now. And for a guy who's trying, there's really no motivation to try.
Try what?
To be a traditionally masculine guy, to hold any kind of real values, to work hard, to have an opinion.
They're not leaning enough.
But you're saying that's more of a patriarchy situation. So it seems like you're saying there should be more of a patriarchy situation.
I think it's just that they're lost. So they don't know how to lead. They don't know how to lean back. There's both of the things are not going well.
But why is it that you're courageous enough to talk in front of a camera? What is about you that makes you different than probably the last 20 dudes that just passed right by us?
Because I think in England, we have a little bit less of a cancel culture.
So do you feel like having an opinion for men has kind of become somewhat dangerous?
Yeah, absolutely.
How do they find themselves if they're so lost? How do we tell the men out there, this is the way you're going to find yourself?
That I don't know.
You're of Armenian descent, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so what made you decide to come on camera? We've been having people pass right by us. Everybody's scared to be on camera. Why are you so courageous?
I don't think it has anything to do with courage. I think if you can't express yourself, you're not really living in America. So
if you don't express who you are, you're just hiding behind a facade. And I can't live my life like that.
My parents didn't sell half of their livelihood to move to a country where I can't fucking express myself, all right?
Hey, I don't think we have enough men nowadays.
What do you mean by that?
First of all, I think there's a lot of broken homes where the boys aren't being mentored properly by men who've stuck around to be an actual father and raise men.
I think it's more of a health issue.
Tell me about that. What do you mean?
People don't see the sun, man. The sun makes you more masculine.
Really?
That's just scientifically proven. Vitamin D, that's what testosterone's made of, man.
The pressures of society, the economics of our country, a lot of the political strife creates a backdrop that's really complex and difficult to deal with. And if you don't have the right tools to cope, then you can fall into some dark places. And I do see that happening a lot.
And then at the same time, I don't think people are sticking up for their beliefs anymore. I feel like they've lost the sense of having any beliefs and they're buying into all this woke stuff.
I know the school I'm going to right now, I'm going to college right now, and they're trying to indoctrinate these belief systems into it. As we speak right now, they're trying to disassemble gender roles, disassemble that belief, the idea that you are a man. You are a man. You're not a woman if you are a man. You're a man.
I see a swing back. I see women asking for, like, thank you, a more traditional guy.
We're hearing about toxic masculinity. Apparently, there's something wrong with men. They're toxic inherently.
That's a false phrase to begin with, toxic masculinity.
The school board situation here, where they're trying to bring these books into the school board, and Antifa showed up, and a bunch of apparently Armenian men. I saw some video where they beat the piss out of Antifa. What do you think about that whole situation?
I think it's a great thing that a community is willing to stand up and say, hey, as a group, we just don't want it. Number one, it's unfortunate that it took some level of violent confrontation, but at the same time, like, we're kind of pansies today. So,
And then Antifa swore they're never going to come back, and it seems like those men made a change.
Yeah. So that's where the men went.
That's where the men went. So the men are in Glendale, you're saying, or?
Of course.
good for them to stand up and say, hey, this is inappropriate at any level that you teach my kids things that I should be the one teaching them at home.
Are you a veteran by any chance?
I am.
Veteran of?
Second World War. I'm 92 years of age.
I think it's important for men to be masculine. I think there's an order for it.
Sir, did you have any closing statements you wanted to make in terms of speaking to the men of this country at this critical time in history?
I just hope they don't get involved in a war.
You're on somebody's lawn.
Your mother.
Truth in media is not free. If the corrupt corporations run the media, then all we get is a pile of lies. So please support truth in the media by donating to AmericaHappens.com by simply going to AmericaHappens.com, clicking on the support tab, and entering a generous donation. Thank you so much.
Check out the America Happens Network, because Fox sucks now.